let's get started. Welcome, everyone. I'm Eden Ojeda, and on behalf of the organizing committee, I'm honored to welcome you to the 8th Annual International Symposium of Applied Research SOAR, Fostering Innovation and Addressing Global Challenges. We're excited about the engaging discussions and new opportunities for collaboration, including our new research forum. SOAR brings together a global community, as you can see in the chat box, to explore research and ideas across different fields. This year's theme, Fostering Innovation and Addressing Global Challenges, gives us the perfect space to showcase groundbreaking research and projects from all over the world. Organized by the Learning, Innovation, and Teaching Excellence Light Center in partnership with the Library and Digital Resources Center, SOAR is all about promoting collaboration and building partnerships. We want everyone to feel comfortable sharing ideas, asking questions, and learning from one another in an open, supportive environment. Our program features 24 sessions with expert presenters from various fields, and after each session, there will be time for questions and lively discussions. If you need anything, if you need any help navigating the breakout rooms or have other questions, feel free to visit the main room. We will be there to assist you. We're excited to have you with us and look forward to a dynamic, productive event where together we'll explore research that can make a real impact on society. But before we get started, I would like to share a few quick reminders. The opening and closing sessions will be, sorry about that, the opening and closing sessions will be in the main Zoom room. Keep your microphone muted, please, unless it's time for questions and answers. Presentations last about 20 minutes, so we encourage you to move between breakout room sessions at the designated times. If you need help navigating the breakout rooms, please refer to the program. Professor Allegra will place the link on the chat box to the program, and or you can visit the main room and we will help you. Please be respectful during discussions. This is a collaborative learning space. You can type your questions in the chat at any time and ask them during Q&A rounds. Please note that all presentations will be recorded, so by attending SOAR, you are agreeing to be recorded during the sessions. If you're a student and want to earn extra credit, keep an eye on the chat box, not now, but when each session is finished, you will be able to click the form link provided in the chat box. Most importantly, have fun. Thank you for being part of SOAR, and we hope you have an unforgettable experience. Now it's my honor to introduce Dr. Jean Iverson, Westcliff University Chief Academic Officer, who has been a strong advocate for this event. Dr. Iverson, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. It's so exciting to be here. As Ave just mentioned, I'm Ying Iverson. I'm the Chief Academic Officer at Westcliff University. I want to welcome every one of you to join us this exciting event. And no matter which, side of the world you're on at right now, and hopefully you enjoy the next 2.5 hours with us. As Ave talked about, this year's theme is a fostering innovation and addressing, global challenges. I think this is such a timely theme for us. We can see, globally, we're facing a lot of challenge in very different areas and impact every one of us. And Westcliff, as a truly global institution, wanted to make sure to create this platform, an inclusive and safe and respectful platform for all of us come together, build partnership, and really work together to solve problems. And research is one of the great way for us to all come together, seek truth, discover perspective, and really help find solutions. I truly believe, I know that my colleagues truly believe, only working together we can solve a lot of challenge and a lot of issue in this world. And I welcome everyone, welcome the faculty, students, and guests from external. And I think this night will be so awesome. So I will hand it back to Ave for the keynote speaker.
Thank you so much, Dr. Iverson. Now it's time to present our first opening plenary. So technology is powerful and gives us access to a global audience. Get ready to dive into strategies to inspire students with the right tools and steps to make a positive footprint on the world. During this opening plenary session, Navigating the Seas of Innovation, Empowering Students to Sail, Professor Shelly Sanchez Terrell, an award-winning digital innovator, teacher, and author, will help us discover the keys to transforming learning environments into places where students find their drive, harness their most powerful ideas, and are allowed several attempts in their learning sail to see their ideas begin to blossom. Shelly Sanchez Terrell has trained teachers in over 20 different countries as a guest speaker. She was named Woman of the Year by the National Association of Professional Women and received a Bammy Award as the founder of the Ed Chat. Several entities have recognized her as a leader in the movement of teacher-driven professional development, and we are honored to have her with us today. Thank you, Professor Sanchez Terrell, for being with us today. And let's officially start with the SOAR 2024 sessions, and we'll begin with your plenary session. The floor is yours, Professor Sanchez.
Thank you so much for the invitation. Thank you, all of you, for coming from all these countries all over the world. Today, I want to be able to give you those resources to be able to help your students truly be innovators. And I've been lucky enough to help thousands of teachers online help their students become those innovators, but also in person in 26 different countries. And so I'm super excited to be able to share with you what I have found with the different age groups I've worked with. And what I mean by S.A.I.L is that a lot of our students, to be an innovator is so tough that they see it as, I fail, when they don't get it right the first time. And it can be so frustrating to them because they've never really, had that opportunity. Maybe you're the first teacher who has given them the rein and also given them that space to be able to try their ideas and bring it to a global audience, or even to bring it to their local community. And so instead of fail, we want them to see it as several attempts in their learning. When it's a mistake or their first design or their second design or even their 100th design, that it's just them making it a better and better idea and solution. And what I mean by that is a lot of times currently I'm working with kindergarten and we do project-based learning. I'm a STEM teacher. And so as soon as my students see that maybe the first thing isn't right, they color wrong, anything like that, they start crying or break down. But I worked with teenagers, I've worked with fifth graders, the same thing. Any kind of age group, they get frustrated and they may hit things, they may, tear up their projects. And so how do we get them to be more like this girl? And so it's not so important that you see the video and hear what's happening, but to be able to notice her reactions to a challenge. And I think that's so wonderful. So what if our learners really tackled a world global problem, and they did it like that, where you even felt pain for her, you saw her fall, you saw her, and you thought, wow, this is kind of painful, poor girl. But she didn't see it that way. She was determined. She knew what she wanted. She knew the goal. And at the end, you saw that celebration. And we might ask ourselves, well, why do we need our students to be like this? Well, because this type of resilience is what all of our world changers and innovators have had. It took, for example, Thomas Edison 10,000 ways to be able to perfect the light bulb. And so I often tell my students, well, what if he would have given up after the first try? Like, you are frustrated and you want to give up already. You want to tear that project apart. Or what if he would have given up after the 100th try, or maybe 500, or even 9,999 times? Then we may not have this wonderful light around the world. And so we might believe that, oh, our learners are too young, we can't do anything that's of real importance, but they can do a lot more to be able to tackle those problems. I've been able to host a lot of online conferences just like this for teachers around the world, and I often try and get young innovators and world changers to be keynote speakers, just like Joshua Williams, who at 4 years old founded an organization to help hunger and the homeless. And he still runs that today and has fed millions and millions. Or like Tilario, who has a mushroom farm that he started when he was like 6 or 7, just to have good food around the world. Or even Natalie Hampton, who came up with an app as a teenager to be able to end bullying at her school. These are just a few examples. But what does it take to really get our students to be just like those examples? Well, this is what I have found out. Even when they feel like they can't do it, to be able to be their champion their ideas, being able to give them student voice and choice in the problems they care about or want to solve. Being able to see those global goals that you've seen out there and say, hey, what kind of goal as a class would we want to be able to tackle here? Being able to go through a process and focusing on that process and celebrating that work instead of, oh, you got 100% on this design or 100%, your rocket launches, but instead focusing on celebrating growth and going back with that feedback they get from peers or mentors and experts and saying, hey, I really love how you made this change to be able to make your idea even better. Incorporating S.A.I.L, social emotional learning, and then also growth mindset, because you're going to see through the process after 1 project, after 2 projects, after 3, even 10, and I do tons with my students all the time, is that they definitely need to be able to identify their emotions and be able to find ways, healthy ways, to be able to handle those emotions. And the last part that's really, really important is being able to see that their ideas are impacting a community, whether it's a local school, whether it's just another classroom, whether it's the community at large, or it could be that it's a global project and that you're working with others around the world. When we talk about the process, you might say, well, what kind of process? Well, there's so many out there, and it's up to you or your school to decide what's best for you. There's the design thinking process, there's project-based learning process, there's so many out there. And the ones that I've used the most the past 6 years with schools is the engineering design process. And this is kind of what it's looked like for the different schools that I've worked with in Texas. And I really love this process, but we have tweaked it. We have adapted it to our needs, because if you look online, you're going to see so many different steps. Don't get so obsessed with that, but just see what's going to work for your students. And then you can spend more time on that, or look at your time plan or even your resources. And then that process that speaks to you, you can adapt. And so we usually start with an ask where we get to learn about the problem and be able to see, okay, what kind of solutions can we come up with, what's already out there. That's also part of the exploring process where you have that research. Also that planning where you can either get groups or pairs to be able to brainstorm and then choose the best idea. Being able to create something out of that blueprint or that plan you came up with. Then being able to have the students test it out, collect data, be able to get that feedback from others, and then be able to go back and redesign, improve, take out any bugs, and then production or having it shown to the public or testing it out with a public audience. There are different websites that are free that I've made available, and you'll see at the bottom it says shellyterrell.com/sell. So you'll be able to find all the resources there. I know I'm going a little fast, but we have a short time together, so don't feel overwhelmed. You can always go back. You can explore the resources that are particular to your teaching situation and to your institution. And so mypblworks.org is from the Buckingham Institute. It is an incredible organization that is given all these free, amazing resources to teachers. So basically, you can do a search of either the subject you teach or the grade level that you teach. And then you can find a whole entire lesson with standards and pretty much all the support you need and different ideas and illustrations for this. Also, you can always tweak those lessons as well. It has what we call a driving question. And for a lot of project-based learning or problem solution type of learning, a driving question is so important. It's just one question, but it's a lengthy question. And it's where students can ask, how can we use what we are learning, whether it be math or science or English, to design this solution for this particular problem? And so that's what the driving question is, but it'll help you with that as well. When we talk about documenting the process, what we mean is something like a journal. So all the great inventors, if you go to a museum, if you even go to a library, you will find their diaries, and they have these wonderful illustrations. They're maybe not the best at handwriting, or maybe, but you see their notes everywhere. They're definitely sketches. And now we have technology. So now you can use things like Canvas, you can use different programs. I use Seesaw. I've used it a lot with learners from various age groups. And what it is where students, and these are two of my student designs here from elementary and then elementary. And so what you can see here is that the students, they're going through that process. They can scroll and they can see, you know, what their original design looked like to what their actual, you know, rocket looked like. And then if they're drawing in a journal, if they have what we often call interactive journals, or even journals where they have drawings or sketch notes, then it gets to become theirs. It begets, especially, you can see how much fun that this elementary student, it was a 5th grader, had during her research project. And so it's up to you. It doesn't have to always be technology, but technology can be a great way to help save some time. These are some of my students that I worked with in Croatia and Slovenia. When we have collaborative projects, students learn how to get along. They learn about teamwork. They learn about problem solutions and how to really make sure that they can have that arguing in a good, healthy way. And you'll see sometimes it's not this easy. It's not where they're smiling, but sometimes where they're fighting with each other, especially the younger ones. But when they do get to learn teamwork, when they do get to do several of these projects, they'll eventually be able to be at that point where they be able to help each other and be able to grow with each other and learn and see each other's a showcase of talents and skills. Inviting guest experts and mentors. So we have had over here, sometimes we just zoom them in because they can't make it, but we have had experts from the rainforest. We have had experts from other countries, classes we've worked with. And then we have had like local, I'm in Texas, so we've even had astronauts come to the school. It just depends what's available to you, and they'll do it for free a lot of times. When we have students go through a project and design a product, it's important for them to share. So even at this level, I've had 2nd, 3rd, 4th graders, and you can see here, they got to work with kindergarten students and be able to present their books. They made digital books. They did it with a company called Bunsey. Bunsey was their mentors and had them design these beautiful digital books. And they were able to learn about endangered animals and what we could do. And then they were able to read these to our kindergarten and pre-K students so they could learn about endangered animals. And it was so powerful. So as I'm about to wrap up soon, it's so important that we get to learn about S.A.I.L. I have a whole entire list of resources. There are so many students, and you will see the most gifted of students really struggle with their ability to be able to get back and to be able to tackle a problem because they're so used to being perfectionists. So sometimes they're not about the process or the journey. Sometimes they get so angry or frustrated, or they just don't know what to do. And we have to work with them and teach them, okay, this is what I'm feeling. I'm feeling frustrated because of this. And this is what I can do when I go through this again. Oh, when I feel like I'm overwhelmed with ideas, I might need to take a break, walk around. And so there are lots of S.A.I.L curriculums out there that are very useful for teachers, and they're free as well. Mission-minded learning is what I call this. I wrote a book about it. It has different missions. I like to make it like Mission Impossible, where different types of where the students feel like superheroes. Here, Ms. Sanchez is giving you a mission. You are to conduct field research as a citizen scientist. And this is to help all of our community learn about the butterflies or the plant life or the animals around. And then you make it to where they can take care of that. You get a digital badge of a citizen scientist, and you complete the cyber mission. And so doing it this way makes it feel like, yes, they can change the world. They can be superheroes. They can be just like, Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible, or they can be someone really great who does great things because they are great and they have those ideas in there. And it's us who are able to help them facilitate that. So I really love this quote. And I love that you're going through this whole entire symposium and getting much more ideas and meat after you listen to me. And so it may not be that we are changing the world, although I think teachers change the world every single day. But what's really important is that you are with the generation who's going to change the world. And so that is even more important because there are so many ways, there's so many children out there, there's so many teens and whoever you teach who really need someone to be their champion and say, that's a wonderful idea. Here's the space to do it. Here's the time to do it, and here are the resources, and I believe you can do it. If you have any questions, I'm open to questioning, and you can find the resources at shellyterrell.com/sell, or you can get me on Facebook, LinkedIn, I'm at Shelly Terrell, or you can find me on X at Shelly Terrell and some other places. So thank you so much for joining me today.